everyone, and welcome back once again to Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars. My name is Pete, and sitting next to me today is...
I am Viv.
And when we last left, we've just got back from Syria, having narrowly avoided death. Yeah, we didn't avoid it for several times, but...
It was fun.
Yeah, the last successful attempt, we did successfully avoid death, and we got home with the lens, the one on the manuscript. So now, we find out how to use it.
Is it to burn down the church?
No. Oh look, someone new's here.
A priest stood by the pews, energetically polishing something.
Oh, do we need to know?
Approach with caution.
Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
So, we have the usual Templar topic. We can also ask about the stained glass window over there, or the priest himself.
Ask about him for a sec.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
Well, it's not work if you enjoy it.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
Okay.
Okay, keep going.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah, oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that.
I don't think God really minds that much how shiny the candlesticks are. He's got bigger things to worry about than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we ask about the Templars?
Yeah.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
Fair point.
Windows.
Let's ask about the window.
I noticed that the stained glass window on the left looks more modern than the middle one.
You have a keen eye, monsieur. The original window was destroyed in the last war. It was as old as the church, early 14th century.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Oui, a terrible loss. Still, the church and the other windows survived.
Well, every cloud, I suppose.
Okay.
Is the right-hand window original?
Oui, monsieur.
Okay.
You must be proud to have such an incredible collection of stained glass.
Pride is a sin, monsieur, but it is hard not to marvel when the light shines through them. It is a fine example of the artisan's genius.
Okay. What shall we show him?
Maybe the lens.
The
Seeing as
lens?
that's why we came here.
Have you ever seen anything like this lens?
No, never. The glass seems subtly colored in some way.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before.
Interesting.
The chalice.
Yep, the communion chalice.
Oh, it's a church.
Yes, he is a priest, so he might know something about that.
Very nice.
What do you make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know, it is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
Do we trust him with the pride and joy of the de Vasconcelos family?
Yeah, he doesn't seem that dopey.
Yeah, why not?
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so the last time we were here, just to remind you, we looked through this scroll, which is pointing at the window over here.
Per disciplinum meum lux videbis.
Yeah.
A bit of a stained glass window. Wow. hoping for a
I guess
big
we've heard that already.
had been.
But now have the magical lens.
Oh.
The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove. Hey! A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date.
Days.
Let me see. MCCCXIV. That's 1314.
Sounding familiar yet? But anyway, yeah, so the priest looks to have got a good shine on the chalice now. Who exactly are you looking at, mate? He's just staring off in the
Hello again,
distance.
Father. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner. That winged horse is quite distinctive.
I think we should tell him about the burning man in the window.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that the center window conceals an image of a man burning at the stake?
The burning man?
What, you knew?
That there was a hidden image? No. But the church has a reputation for being haunted. Many times people have claimed to have seen a burning man in the window. But when others they look, there is nothing. Perhaps the light has to be just so for the figure to appear.
Yeah, or maybe you need a special lens.
So, see what he makes of the chalice now that he's polished it.
Boy, what a shine you got on this.
Merci. It is all in the wrist action.
This is.
Yeah, I'm not pursuing that any further. Goodbye.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Okay, let's see if we can find this coat of arms
Yeah.
on the tomb.
Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it, but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the De Vasconcelos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more, Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the De Vasconcelos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own.
So yeah, I remember the missing knight from the De Vasconcelos mausoleum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he made it all the way to Paris. Okay,
And
no.
got burnt.
Apparently. Now, every time I've played this game, we do eventually go back to see the Countess again and tell her about finding Don Carlos's tomb and ask her about the references. But George mentions that he forgot to ask the priest what they were, so I'm just going to see if it's possible to even ask the priest here. Every time I've played this, I've just found the tomb and then buggered off to the next plot point.
Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Nope, okay, apparently not.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Is that pleasant?
Okay, fair enough then. Well, let's examine the chalice. I said, let's examine the chalice.
It was hard to believe it was the same chalice. Now the light gleamed off its perfect surface.
Okay, moving on then. Yep, still nothing to see here, officer. Okay, and now, if memory serves, we go back to Andre again. And take the unnecessarily long walk to get into the museum.
Yeah, you appear in Nico's apartment just like that.
Yeah. Nico's apartment is the focal point of the Broken Sword universe. It's just the central hub.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
So now we can ask about Baphomet.
While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Baphomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
What a
Where?
stroke of luck.
At the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Isn't that always the
So
way?
convenient.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now. A bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
Oh no, I'm sure it was just some Templar years ago spilt
Thanks
the
for your help,
ketchup
Andre.
from his chips.
It was.
It's fine. Right. So now we know where to find the excavation site.
Yeah.
And back we go once again. Anytime you're ready.
Soon.
Still going. Where is it? Yeah, I'm now having very slowly walked out of the Cream Museum. Let's teleport to the other side of Paris, shall we?
Just like that.
Boom! Yeah, this looks like a pleasant fellow.
The painter didn't seem to regard the painting as too important. Not as important as a cigarette break, anyway. Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions.
Looks a lot more cheerful than that icon, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoked so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
Shall we continue asking about painting?
Yeah, why not?
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
When I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Let's see how long we can stretch this out.
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job.
Sounds like it.
Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
Fair dues.
At least he knows.
At least he's honest about it. Okay, so we can now ask about the Templars or the dig.
The dig.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but là.
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
Go on.
Yeah.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
Again, fair point. Right, let's ask about the Templars now.
What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Right. Shall we show him anything in our possession here?
No, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, probably not. Okay.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
That's probably the most polite thing he said to us so far.
There was a dumpster full of debris. From the excavation, I guessed.
Hey, you! Get away from my dumpster.
Lost the mouse a second there. Ooh, a pot of paint. Endless fun.
The painter had a pot of gunmetal grey primer hanging from the barrier.
It's very specific.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Puh.
There are certain things you just don't do, and meddling with a man's paint pot is one of them.
That's what I've been told.
There's one thing that the paint is supposedly gunmetal grey, so why has he got yellow paint
Yellow
all over him?
everywhere, yeah. Even I caught that.
Was he just eating messily and got mustard everywhere?
Or custard.
Or custard? Anyway, heading on down to the excavation. What do we have here?
A remarkably tidy excavation.
The doorway was full of assorted old tea chests, cardboard boxes, and so on. All empty and all uninteresting. The doorway led to an old utility closet that had lost its door. There was nothing interesting in there.
Well, we do have a security guard.
Yes.
A guard stood by a door I guessed led to the excavation. He looked pretty pompous. Well, not so much pretty, just pompous.
Let's have a word with the pompous prick.
Excuse me? Oui?
Shall we ask about him?
Yeah?
So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard.
Okay, let's go again.
I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground.
They're hiding something. Could it be something to do with the Templars?
Maybe.
What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
Absolutely nothing.
That's what he's been told to say.
Absolutely nothing, of course.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him.
Anything we should show him? Is there even any point?
No, he seems to be very sort of, he has a one-track job thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Well, we could see if we can just take the easy way in.
That guard had been put here to guard something. My guess was that the excavation was behind that door. I didn't think that the guard would just let me waltz past. Besides, I had a hunch that door was locked.
He might let you up past.
A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall.
Yeah, so apparently it's really bloody warm down here.
There you go, George.
There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap
He's a bit
veneer.
obsessed with the toilet.
That door's locked, monsieur.
So once again,
Hi again.
We need a key.
What is it?
But first, let's ask about the thermostat.
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
On the keyring was a big old key that looked like it might fit the excavation door. There was a telephone on the far wall. Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Hi, Nico?
George, what have you discovered?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Is something wrong?
No.
George, why are you calling me?
Oh, no reason. I just wanted to hear your voice.
You did? Well, this is my voice saying, don't bother me, I'm busy.
Oh.
Harsh. But anyway, we've got access to the toilets. A huge pile of coal lay in the corner to fuel the boiler. Real high-tech stuff. Clearly. I didn't want any coal. The shovel used to feed the furnace was stuck into the pile of coal. And now we have the one time in this game that George acknowledges how ridiculous it is he can fit all that stuff in his pockets. Are you ready? Capacious as my pockets were, I didn't figure I could cram a shovel in them.
I'm sure you could try.
We've been carrying this all this time.
And you got through customs.
Exactly. There was a big old boiler used for heating the building. The thing felt really hot. Big demands seemed to be being made on it. A bin stood in the corner. It didn't look like it had been emptied for a while. I wasn't that interested in what might go into a restroom's garbage to investigate. So yeah, this is pleasant. I didn't need to get near to tell the toilet needed cleaning.
Yeah.
This guy in Syria could probably help you with that. Being in a charming comfort station like this made me think fondly of the toilet in Syria. That place was kept in pretty good order. At least it had been until I vandalized it. Still, it was all for a good cause. You bastard. A hand dryer was mounted on the wall. If the club Alamut had used one of these instead of a roller towel, I'd probably still be stuck in Marib.
Memories.
It's chaos theory, who knows? In a million universes, the adventure probably ended there. A filthy wash basin hung on the wall. Does that sound annoying yet?
Yes. Had it in some kind of
Let's make a
loop with sneezing.
Yeah. Just all the ambient noise in this game. Like, drip. I didn't want to use that unless I really had to. We do have one object of interest, though. The soap. Oh, boy! Dirty soap! How do they do that? That's a good point. How do you clean soap?
Yeah,
It's the kind of philosophical discussion that could keep me awake for days. How does the man who drives the snowplow get to work in the morning? Well, while you're thinking of that, let's have a look at the soap. It was the bar of soap I'd stolen from the washroom of the excavation site. No, George. Borrowed from the washroom of the excavation site. Okay. So now we have to make a copy of the key to the excavation. What do we think?
Oh, that's what the soap's for, isn't it?
Yep, that old trick. Press it into the soap.
I made an impression of the big key in the cake of soap.
Right. So we have an impression now.
The bar of soap had the imprint of a key in it.
So now all we need is something to fill the imprint.
Oh, do we still have any plaster left?
We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. He's carried plaster around all
Yep.
this time. Fucking hell.
I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key. I had filled the key's imprint in the soap with dry plaster.
And thankfully this time we don't have to go all the way to the bar to...
There is in fact a dripping tap there.
Exactly, right there. And for some reason this is a lot slower drying than the one back in Lochmar.
Yeah.
I mean, that one was instantaneous.
But it's lucky Irish. You know,
True that.
everything dries so
Well,
quickly.
it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key. Way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well.
We have a plaster key now.
It was my plaster copy of the excavation key. Trouble was, it looked like plaster, and it felt like plaster.
Can we put it on now?
No.
Nope.
Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal.
Oh,
So we have to art it up a bit first.
okay.
Now, remember the can of paint outside?
Oh yeah, and it happened to be like gunmetal or
Gunmetal
something.
grey.
How convenient.
Exactly the same shade as the key.
I think it wasn't custard
What a stroke of
colours.
luck.
Hey, monsieur,
We've been rumbled.
don't go with my keys.
Oh, right. Fair enough, have the key back. The real one. I mean, the only one. We
What is
absolutely
it?
don't have a
Here's
fifth
the
one.
keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
You reckon he'll let us use the paint pot this time?
Probably no.
Of course not.
He's very possessive of
Mm-hmm.
that paint pot.
Hey, monsieur, get away from my paint pot.
Okay.
I should...
Exactly. A man's paint pot is his own private kingdom. Oh, I missed this earlier.
The gate was surrounded by some pretty fancy ironwork.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Mm.
I couldn't climb over.
Okay. So back down we go.
So
So how do we distract him?
we shoot him.
Good thinking, but we don't have a gun.
Oh,
Damn,
we hit
there
him
but
with,
for the grace of
we
God.
hit him with the tool.
Nope, it is a non-violent solution, I'm sorry to say. No, it is in fact. We get Nico to do it.
Okay.
Couleur.
Hi, Nico. It's me. I'm at the excavation site.
Goodbye, George.
No, wait a minute. I need your help.
What kind of help? I told you I'm busy.
This will only take a few minutes, I promise.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him.
Yeah, she's just going with it at this point.
Yeah. She must think George is like mentally ill or something.
George is being weird. Must be a day ending in Y.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? You must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
Hunk of what? I'm not at liberty to say.
It's probably best not to think about it.
But anyway,
Right.
we have the paint pot.
Okay.
The plaster key had soaked up the paint nicely, and now looked pretty convincing. Still felt like plaster, though.
There's the problem. So, what did you make of her then, eh?
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me, and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
Why? Abuse. Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Okay.
I'm sure she's in a hurry to talk to you again.
She really wants to talk to him.
Right, so now we need to get the key back.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
So, back we go. Obviously we can't do anything right in front of him, so we go in here and make the exchange.
Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing. Now, I'd substituted the fake key for the excavation key. It looked okay, but felt false. It was the key to the excavation.
Okay, so we have one that looks okay, but we can't give it back to him because he'll feel that something's wrong.
Okay.
So, what do? Remember earlier on he said he has gloves for when it gets cold.
Oh, are you going to turn the heating down?
Yeah, exactly. We cut the heat.
I turned the heating off.
And now we just wait for the cold to set in. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
This place must be badly insulated.
Yeah.
So now he's got the gloves. We can just hand the keys back to him.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Okay, so there we go. Now we have the key.
Yes.
But we still have to get him out of the way to get into the excavation. Any thoughts?
Not the phone again.
It is the phone again. We need Nico's help.
She's going to get so pissed off with him.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, George.
Look,
Mystery
I
for the
need to get
ages.
the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
And now we wait.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you! It's the phone.
Yeah? Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
Glass
I
houses, mate.
have a highly responsible job. Ha! Don't me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you.
Rent-a-cop.
All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you... This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss.
Like they wouldn't notice him.
And Nico's still on the line, we can check in with her.
Mm-hmm.
Not like times of the essence or anything.
Salut, Georges.
How did you know it was going to be me?
Who else was it going to be? Is the coast clear?
Yeah, the guard and the painter are outside having a major argument.
So, what is so secret about the excavation?
Well, I haven't actually...
Georges, how long do you think the guard is going to be distracted? Get in there and find out what the Templars did.
Okay.
He's dopey.
Alright, let's get a move on then. Just wanted to keep Nico informed is all. Ooh, now this looks familiar.
Yeah.
Some planks used to make the catwalk were leaning against the wall. I couldn't see anything useful to do with the planks.
Knock the guard out, maybe? Just a thought.
Or crucify him.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it? He's just doing his job, which is more than can be said for the painter.
It's been a quiet day, you know. Bit of excitement.
Oh, great. More dead people. Although, the gendarmes weren't likely to pull in any suspects unless they had a time machine. This guy must have been here for centuries. No, thanks. I think I'm carrying enough junk.
Very true, very true. So here we have the statue of Baphomet.
Now there's a familiar face.
3 of them, in fact.
There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria. Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. In the middle of the floor was a weird mosaic, all swirling and distorted. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side.
And so now, we discover what the bright, shiny new chalice is for.
Oh.
And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church.
And back.
Just got off the phone to him.
I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower.
And that's it.
Oh.
Look at the chalice now, Nico.
What happened? It's shiny.
The priest at Montfaucon buffed it up for me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, looks as good as new.
No. You found a use for a priest. That's incredible.
If memory serves, we can tell her about how the hand buzzers saved her life as well.
Okay.
Hey, Nico, shake hands with me.
No chance, Buster.
Okay, never mind then. Anyway, we are carrying quite a bit less junk now. No, we got rid of the matchbook and everything.
Still carrying the tool, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Georges.
There he goes jet setting again.
Yep. Back off to sunny Spain. So yeah, we're almost on the home stretch now, so I think that's a good point to close this one. So just next time we'll be heading back to the Villa de Vasconcelos to return the chalice and let the Countess know where Don Carlos ended up. So until next time, say goodnight, Viv.
Good night, Viv.
Good night, folks.